So on this video we're going to be looking at the class Mammalia. Mammals have, out of all of the different groups of animals and all the different classes we've looked at, the class Mammalia has the most differentiation of teeth. And what that means is that if you'll rub your tongue over your teeth, you'll feel ridges and indentations and bumps. And all those ridges and bumps, they have names. And so if a paleontologist finds a tooth and they're like, what is this animal? They can key out those ridges and those bumps and they can find out what specific mammal it is. And those teeth are designed for the diet, for the niche that these animals serve in God's creation. The mammals also are warm-blooded. They have hair. They have a single lower jawbone called the mandible. They have inner ear bones, the incus, malleus, stapes. You would have called them the hammer, anvil, and stirrup in elementary school. And then they produce milk for their young. The mammals are dioecious. That means we have little boys or little girls. Most are viviparous. Viviparous means that they bear live young. Viviparous is what humans are. So they carry their young, the young develop in the body, and then they give birth to the young, and then the mother nourishes them. Some are oviparous, meaning that they lay eggs that develop outside of the mom. Mammals have a large brain. They're capable of learning. Think of your dog. You teach your dog to sit. You teach your dog all different capabilities. Sometimes your dog teaches you. My dogs know if they come up and look at me a certain way, it's like, hey mom, I want my treat. And then mom has to go to the special cookie jar that is for the dogs and get out their treat. So they're capable of learning and they're capable of trying to teach their masters as well. They have a 4-chambered heart, meaning they have 2 atria and 2 ventricles. The moms have mammillary glands, meaning that they produce milk that can feed the babies. There are about 4,500 species of mammals that belong to the class Mammalia. Now, what I'm about to go over on these next slides is going to be typically a short answer question. The 3 major groups of mammals, we have the monotremes, the marsupials, and the placental mammals. Examples of monotremes are going to be the duck-billed platypus and the anteater. Now these are mammals that lay eggs. And I love the duck-billed platypus. I mean, talk about an evolutionist nightmare. The duck-billed platypus, they're not going to go near that. I mean, look at the platypus. He's got fur like a mammal. He lays eggs like reptiles and birds. He's got a tail like a beaver. He's got a venom spur like an echidna. He has webbed feet like a duck. He has a bill like a duck. I mean, an evolutionist cannot explain this. God designed this animal just to laugh at evolutionists. And isn't that awesome? Now, our marsupials are mammals that have pouches. So that the baby is going to begin to develop inside the mother's body. It's born immature. It's like half-baked. The newborn is going to crawl up into the pouch. It's going to stay in the mother's abdomen inside that pouch until it develops. So a kangaroo would be an example of this. A koala bear is another good example of this. And when I said that the babies were born undeveloped, this is what I'm talking about. This right here is a very, very early, uncooked little kangaroo. So this one would be in the mama's pouch, still developing, still feeding on the mom's milk. Now the marsupial that's in the United States, that's in America, is the possum. So the sound you're hearing in the background is me doing my dishes while I'm also doing my notes. So we've got marsupials being kangaroos, koala bears, and the possum. They're non-placental mammals, the developing young. The baby is born, we'll say, uncooked, It crawls into the mother's pouch, latches onto the nipple, and then it feeds on the milk and continues to develop. And so here you can see some different stages going from birth all the way up to, again, when we get over to this one over here, this little guy right here, he's still going to need to be pouched. And we'll show you what they start to look like when they're just about ready to come out of the pouch. So you're going to notice that this little Joey right here, this I am in Gulf Shores. And in Gulf Shores there's a little tiny zoo. It looks really small. If you get a chance to visit the zoo, visit the zoo. They have wonderful animal interactions and education. And so while I was there, I went in, did one of their little educational seminars, got to play with a baby Joey, but you can see he's still pouched, and you can see how big he is. This little guy right here, he was a week or two away. He would be unpouched, and then they would get him used to feeding on his own food. But this is still representing the pouch for the little Joey. Now our placental mammals, the placenta is what supplies the nutrients to the young and what removes the waste from the blood of the developing young. This allows the baby to be born in a relatively advanced developmental stage. However, the young are going to need a longer period of dependency on the parent. So dogs, cats, humans are all examples of mammals that have a placenta.